Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is our third video in the series of getting started in DeFi. The previous videos touched upon the pure basics, like setting up a MetaMask account or wallet, uh, by which I mean a sweet fox lives in your browser throughout. And second was bringing your crypto from a centralized exchange, say Binance or Coinbase or CoinDCX or whatever, to MetaMask and do much more with those tokens than just hold it, right? Now, this video actually talks about dealing with the proper, full-fledged application running on the blockchain. That goes with the name of Uniswap. And how do we understand Uniswap? How do we actually swap something, and things around it? So, without much ado, the first, or just for context, DeFi is an imperfect system. Nothing is like perfect, and so is DeFi. So, one area of imperfection comes from the code that runs in DeFi. By code, I simply say or mean smart contracts, right? Any application that you will ever see, you will ever come across on the blockchain will have smart contracts. It's nothing but software, but running on the blockchain. Okay, so smart contracts have is nothing but a bunch of code, and every code base has vulnerabilities, right? Has bugs. So those bugs can be exploited. And when they do, since we are dealing with financial applications, we are dealing with quote unquote money applications, users tend to get hit, right? Because hackers simply exploit that and take away most of the funds. And the protocols, more often than not, don't even know what happened. So, smart contract bugs is one major area of imperfection with DeFi as we stand. But without much ado, now we actually get into the thing. Okay, on-chain systems, by which I simply say, applications on blockchain. Okay, applications or products that live on the blockchain. Those are on-chain systems. On-chain systems and off-chain systems, i.e., internet-based systems, web-based systems, right, have fundamental difference. Actually, two differences. First is the single sign-in option, right? Think about it. You and I do it on a daily basis. We move to a new web page, to a new website. We put on our Google or Apple or Facebook details, right, to log in. We move to a newer website. We like basically loop this thing. Every new website comes with their own sign in option, comes with their unique or different sign in functionality where we have to put in our Google details over and over again. But over to the blockchains, we have something called MetaMask. And the best benefit of MetaMask is that it enables us to sign in universally, to use all DeFi applications, all NFT applications universally. If I simply take you on to my MetaMask wallet here, click on these three dots and click on these connected sites option, you can see a list of applications, right? I have used all these applications with the simple integration, with a simple connection of MetaMask. No requirement of Google ID, no requirement of Facebook ID. This is where the decentralization essentially begins. You don't have to put your details over and over. There is just one universal sign in option. Okay, second point, blockchains have shared access, by which I mean if I am using Uniswap today, if I'm using Polygon today, I'm basically becoming a user of all the applications that live on Polygon. Okay. Now, in contrast, think about this. If I use Twitter today, that would not be equal to I use LinkedIn today, right? Fundamentally, what I'm trying to say is every application or product on the web is siloed. They are completely separate from each other. Therefore, Twitter acquiring one user is not equal to LinkedIn acquiring one user. Therefore, each app has its own user base, and each app has its own proprietary or own, unique things. For example, on Twitter we have tweets. On LinkedIn we have the feature to endorse people, right? So these are unique things that every application has, and therefore they have their own user base. Over to the blockchain arena, Ethereum blockchain has a user base of, say, for example, 10 million people. All right, and these 10 million people is not broken down into different applications like it is on the internet. But all these 10 million people are users of DeFi, not Uniswap or any other product. So that's the case of blockchains having shared access and internet having non-shared access, if I may put it so. Now, getting into the thing. Now I am taking you to my Mozilla Firefox. This is Uniswap's landing page. And the reason I started with Uniswap is this. If you look at the trade volume here, it's upwards of 1.2 trillion. If I do the math, basic math, it says that this volume, this value of transactions is a sum of Amazon and Facebook market cap as of now. Not comparing anything, but I'm just saying if you were to start your DeFi journey, do it with Uniswap. There is no other OG in the space when it comes to swapping tokens. All right, so this is the landing page. We go to the launch app, we get into the UI of the product. Here I'm seeing the swap section column. Here I'm seeing the tokens that I can basically exchange or swap into. And here are the pools. We'll get into them one by one, but right now let's deal with the swap functionality. I have a token called Matic. Since I'm using like Uniswap and Polygon, I'm going to switch it to some other token that I might have in my wallet. Okay, we have like Tether USDT, if you remember from the second video. I have 9.2 USDT Tether. I click on that, and I want to say convert or swap that token into say wrapped ETH. Wrapped ETH is basically Ethereum. When it comes onto the blockchain, when it comes onto the DeFi side of things, when it comes onto the decentralized finance, it turns into wrapped ETH. W stands for wrapped. Okay, wrapped ETH is nothing but ETH becoming compatible for DeFi. Okay, as if I may swap into WBTC, that's the same thing, but with BTC. Okay, so we're going to swap into wrapped ETH. If I click max here, it does the math. The math simply says like it does the value. It says that one wrapped ETH is equal to 1203 USDT. I kind of say, okay, 9.2 USDT is equal to 0.007 wrapped ETH. I click swap button here. Okay, now it says that it gives me a final option to look over. Here, if I see that, and we don't need to like get into all these things right now. But okay, the price updated. So since it's a swap, right, it has to update the prices in real time. So I accept the price update and confirm the swap before the next change happens. Uh, so now, as we discussed or looked over in the second video, every time on MetaMask when I make a transaction, I get an estimate of the gas fee. Along with the estimate, I also get the time that my transaction will take to be minted on the blockchain. So that's less than 30 seconds, and the gas is just negligible. It's 0 cents. Okay, 0 cent. I confirm. Okay, I need to go back to Firefox. I confirm the transaction is submitted, and tada! It's just like in a couple of seconds. You saw that, right? In a couple of seconds, my transaction also like just happened. If I go to my MetaMask wallet in my activity section right now, I see the multi-call activity or multi-call transaction. We click on view on Block Explorer, and here we are. We are on Polygon scan. We get back to the Chain Explorer or to the Ether scan of Polygon, right? Now, this is where the beauty comes in. Okay, this is the most important part of using applications, actually reading the chain. Now, transaction hash, unique identifier of every transaction, status successful. That is why I can see it on my in my activity section on MetaMask. Block number, no need to do that. And when you kind of see this block, always think that blockchain is a constant connection of blocks that are being added in real time. Okay, all it's a constant collection of blocks. Okay, it's a stream of blocks. So this is the block number that my transaction got minted on. Timestamp was 22 seconds ago. Okay, and from where? My MetaMask wallet, right? From my Ethereum or my Polygon address. So that's that. Now, interacted with or to. This is a long string of contract, and it says in the bracket Uniswap v3 router 2. Don't don't fall for the jargon. It's nothing but the smart contract of Uniswap, right? What is smart contract? The program that's running underneath, the code that's running underneath Uniswap. Okay, so that's the smart contract right there. Now, there's like 4 tokens were transferred in this entire swap, right? 4 tokens. But on the UI, I actually just transferred 1 token, USDT, into WrapDeep. But on the backend, the backend simply says something I cannot see. There was a 4 token transfer. First was from a particular address. We're not going to dive into this address right now, but let's assume there is a new address coming in. From that address that starts from 0xDA, as we can see, 9.19 USDC came into the Uniswap router, came into the Uniswap smart contract, right? Now, again, this is my MetaMask wallet. Do remember the first few, alphabet and numbers. Okay, so 0xF21 is my MetaMask, is my Polygon address. From there, I transferred 9.2 USDT to the address that sent 9.2 USDC to Uniswap contract, right? If you can simply compare these two addresses, they're the same. So the first token transfer was USDC coming into Uniswap smart contract, and the second transaction or transfer was my USDT going into that particular contract or that particular address from where the USDC came from. Okay, third transfer is basically a new address altogether coming into the picture, and from that we got like $9.22 worth wrapped ETH, 0.007 wrapped ETH, right? And lastly, from the Uniswap smart contract, from the Uniswap router, we transferred 9.19 USDC to the address, or to the address that basically transferred me ETH, right? If you simply look at this on the face, 1 token completely new is coming from a completely new address. Okay. Second token is coming from a second new address. And like following those new addresses, actually my wallet is basically sending some token to receive that, right? We'll dive into that. We'll dive into this tokens transferred section more deeply, but right now you can see that there's a 4 token transfer, and eventually or finally, we did get our wrapped ETH. If you can see this third transfer, like from 0xF45DDA to my MetaMask or my Polygon address, we did get the 0.007 ETH promised. Okay, and the value was like, since we did not transfer any matic, it was 0 cents, but we did pay a 1 cent fee. Okay, since there were 4 token transferred, so it was a long transaction that way. And don't need to like click to see more. That's a thing we'll deal with a little later into the session. So this is what a transaction or a swap basically looks like. What we did, just rewinding a little, we essentially like transferred, or we did a swap of, if I can, like kind of look at the transactions here, right? If you see, like if you click my MetaMask address here, it gives me a simple transaction section. If I click that, the Uniswap dApp or Uniswap UI, the user interface, has basically stored my transaction data that I can see or fall back on anytime. So what I did is transfer 9.2 USDT into 0.007 wrapped ETH. All right. So that's that. And the first transaction, if you can see here, like it was approved USDT. Now, this is the important transaction because I was using Uniswap for the first time on Mozilla Firefox. So if I'm using any protocol, any DApp, for example, Uniswap, for the first time, I have to approve the Uniswap smart contract to actually fetch my balance. Okay, by fetch by balance, what I mean is to actually take that USDT and move into any asset I command it to. Okay, right now, what I did is command the smart contract to transfer or swap 9.2 USDT into 0.007 wrapped ETH. In a similar manner, I can do like another swap that converts the same wrapped ETH into 9.2 USDT. But for the first ever time while interacting with Uniswap, I have to approve, I have to permit, I have to give the smart contract permission to actually access my USDT balance. All right. So that's the approval transaction, which I did for the first time. And this is the swap transaction. I hope this makes sense. I hope the chain data, the blockchain data makes sense. And once again, if you have the access to my MetaMask or my Polygon address or my Ethereum address, whatever you put, and or have access to my transaction hash, you can actually see what I did more clearly. I'm going to attach this particular link in this particular transaction data in the description, so in the comments, so you can have a look at that. And do let me know in the comments if you have any doubts, any feedback. And this was a plain basic swap. We'll dive into the other aspects of Uniswap tomorrow. So please do let me know your thoughts. It means a lot. Thank you very much. And with that, we can end the video.